I'm sure that you might have heard me mention chaga in the past. So I thought, while I had a little time today, finally got a couple hours off where I didn't have to work, that I would take you on a chaga hunt and just show you just how it appears in nature and where to look for it. This is a really good spot right here because what you see are a lot of white birch trees, or some people call them paper birch, but as long as the tree is in the birch family, there's a good likelihood that chaga could occur on it. Chaga is a fungus mushroom that grows on trees that are dying, and I've heard that within 7 years of the start of a chaga, that the tree will probably be dead and possibly down. So let's start the hunt and see what we can find. Okay, here's the most common thing you might find growing on a birch tree. I always called these horseshoe fungus, bracket fungus, whatever. See, somebody's been pulling on this tree and they managed to pull one off. People can't leave anything alone, I'm telling you. But this is what I refer to also as false tinder fungus. It can be used, but it's not as good at catching a spark. The chaga is very, very porous. It's actually a polypore mushroom, so that means it's very fibrous in its nature. And when it's dry, those little fibers are very easy to catch a spark. So if you see these kind of things on a tree, chances are that's not chagas. But I did spot one up here. It looks like somebody's hacked at it. But we'll take a look and see what it looks like. I think it might be chaga. Okay, it looks like we're in luck here. You see that dark area on that one tree right here in the middle. I do believe that is the chaga that I had mentioned. And I'm kind of pleased to see that it's recovering from the removal. So what you're seeing here is a chaga that's still alive. It's still growing. It used to be, well, when I saw this chaga before, it was out about this far. It's a big one. You could see it from the road. Obviously somebody decided it needed to be knocked off the tree, so they proceeded to do that. So let's take a look at what chaga looks like. Here's a little spot here. Drop that piece down here somewhere. But you can see inside it's kind of got a reddish color. That's the stuff that really works well for burning. I'm going to watch this one, and hopefully this will grow back, become quite large. But this tree here is not long for the world with that chaga growing on there. Now notice behind this tree, the same tree itself, that there's some other funguses, things growing on it. This of course broke off and it's now rotting. As you can see, there are other things that are living off from it. So there's our first chaga right here, and that's what you're looking for if you're looking for tinder fungus. Today's an interesting day. It's the big storm Draco is supposed to be hitting here today, so I thought I'd get out here and get a hike in before that occurred. Here's that piece of chaga that I knocked off. It's got that dark outer coating, and then you can see the yellowish orange inside. Now that little piece there, if you dried it, you could probably use that for tinder. So I'll pop that one in my backpack and take it along with me. On to the next tree. Well, looks like I found chaga number 2 in a short walk I've taken. You can tell that there's been people around this area. An old white clear beer bottle. Thought this was interesting. I was kind of looking this over. You can see where a nut was trapped right here against this tree. It's a walnut. I come around the tree here and I looked up and I spotted some more chaga. It's pretty cool. That's a good looking chaga right there. I'll keep my eye on this one because I want to see it grow a little more. I've already got some. I don't need any at the moment. I'd rather leave it on the tree for now, and if I really get in a pinch where I want some tinder fungus, at least I know where to find it. So yeah, this is a nice, real nice one here. I think I've seen this one before, and if it is the same one, it's gotten a lot bigger than the time I saw it about maybe a year and a half ago. So let's see if I can find any more. Well, it looks like I got one up there on this real rotted out old dead birch tree. This thing has even got any bark on the bottom. It's so bad. Excuse me. But I do believe that is a chaga, so it's a little hard one to reach. I can just barely reach it with my hiking stick. So I'll have to come back if this tree falls and see if I can grab it off there. But they're not all within reach, that's for sure. I've seen them even higher than that. So there's chaga number 3. Just thought I'd show you what a great spot this is. There's all kinds of white birch in this woods here. So a place like this, you stand a much better chance to locate one. These trees are in bad shape and they're dying. This is where I'm at right now is a trail that I ski on in the winter. I like to go cross-country skiing here, and this is the pathway that I take. It's a lot of fun. And I was thinking, well, if the weatherman's right, maybe I'll be doing it this weekend, maybe I'll be doing it next weekend, who knows. I'll bring my camera with me though. You gotta see the sights of the woods in the winter here, it's beautiful. I'll be back. Here's something you deer hunters might recognize. This is a place where a buck has marked his territory. He's pawed around here on the ground, and he always has a stick right here where he could nibble on and leave his scent. Let all the does know that the big guy's in town. So if you see a spot like this with a stick hanging down, you know that that's a buck marking his territory. One of the interesting things in this woods was these were all farm fields at one time. And here's a real good sign that the upper field here where I've been looking for the chaga was a field, because this is a rock pile in the middle of the woods. When you see these big rock piles, it's where they pick these off the fields and pile them over the edge where they're not going to do any plowing. I've seen several in here, and there's some tree lines that have a lot of rocks in them too. So this was all good farmland, I guess around the early 1900s, and then they let it grow back to woods. You can tell too that there's a lot of smaller trees in here, not too many large ones. That's a good indication too that this forest is pretty young. So just a little more of my hike. Here's something you don't see a lot of anymore. This woods has it because it's a really old woods and nobody bothers it, but notice all these big fruit balls all along here. If you look down here, there's a pretty good sized one over there. Well, when the pioneers cleared the land here, they would put all the stumps along the edge of the field and make a stump fence. And this is what remains of an old stump fence. Pretty cool, because if you look these over real good, you can see how really big some of these old growth trees were. Just thought I'd throw that in there in case some of you have never seen anything like this before. It's kind of a neat sight and a disappearing site. These are rotting down and harder to find. So there's another lesson in the woods by Paleoman52. Hope you enjoyed it. When Paleoman52 is in the woods, this is his true environment where he feels at home. Just like to point out a few interesting things that I observe as I hike through the woods. This is some beautiful, heavy, thick moss here. This is a place I'd like to lay down and just enjoy the day. Maybe sip on something refreshing. But look at Get this nice little area here. Little path coming down off the plateau up there. Well, look where it leads to. This just drops right off here. This is one of those wonderful hidden places that you'll only see if you get out and hike deep in the woods. It's just absolutely fabulous here. And believe it or not, a little farther upstream here, there was a settlement down in here. It's called Lee's Landing. Right over there is a great big sycamore. I'll zoom in on him. You always see those along rivers and creeks. They like wet areas. But I wanted to share this absolutely beautiful place that I'm seeing today before the storm. So get out and explore. There's so much to see. I'm at another location, but still in the same big woods. I remembered seeing one here maybe 2 years ago, and I harvested some, and I kind of wanted to see if anything grew back. Well, I can see it from here that it looks like it did grow back. I think I left about half of it, so oh yeah, there's a lot left here. That's a really classic example of a chaga. That section right over here would be a good one to harvest and to let all the rest of this grow out, because this is kind of very large. So I'm going to grab my wiggle pick and see if we can pop that one off there. Get a look at it. I'll take that one home. That wiggle pick kind of popped it off there quicker than I thought it was going to go. I was going to film it coming off, but this is a nice heavy one. I'm going to take this one to work and dry it. But look at all the good material inside here for making fire. This is a good one, and that really light colored stuff is spongy, and that'll burn right away. So there's a really, really nice one. And like I said, I'm going to leave that because this continues to grow. You can see there was an injury here in the tree, and so the fungus just kind of grew right around it where a branch or something had broken away. I took out a piece here probably 2 years ago, and this continued to grow in this area and around here. So I'll leave that there. Maybe 2 years from now I'll come back and get a chunk of that. So I just hope you enjoyed this little chaga hunt we went on. I definitely enjoyed taking you along with me, and I'll tell you, this is a beautiful, magical day here in western New York with the snowflakes just drifting in gently. This is the precursor of the big storm that's supposedly coming. This is western New York. We get lake effect that's way worse than what that storm is predicting. So time will tell. I'm not going to jinx myself and say it's not going to be bad, because I'll probably end up shoveling myself out and going to work tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for everybody for watching, and may you all have a Merry Christmas and a very happy, healthy, safe New Year, and I'll see you on the tube. I always end up shutting this thing off way too early every time. I should have looked at this tree a little closer, because as I pan down here, I noticed that there's another one right here growing on the same tree. So that's encouraging, because that means there'll be more to harvest later on. But this tree has definitely got a lot on it, so it's pretty cool. I guess that's the secret to this, is just to check the trees over really good. So anyway, as I said before, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.